What up? This is Myron, and you are listening or checking out on YouTube the Rye Bread and Mustard of Mariners podcast. That down on the docks, the other side of the tracks, 5-star dive bar podcast. And we are coming to you down here at the most happening spot in Seattle, wouldn't you say, Hanno?
Yeah, what a great place to be right before a sporting event and after, in our case, too.
Yeah, and we're talking about tacos and tequila. Pioneers, tacos, and tequila. We started the day off with a lot of rain. In fact, I'm still wearing my sweatpants, joggers, and my hoodie. The sun came out, the roof came off of T-Mobile Park, and the Mariners grinded out just barely by the hair on their chin the sweep of the White Sox that the Mariners needed to get. You need to win series like that. They took care of business. We got some news and notes about that, but let's just talk about the atmosphere and maybe even our journey to today's episode, Hanno.
Yeah, let's do it.
I just asked you. Let's talk about it. All right. So what kind of advice do you have to people to ever come down to a double dip? Seahawks, Mariners, same day?
Yeah, I mean, my first thing would be don't drive down here.
Don't ever drive. And
Take the light rail.
And don't let anybody talk you into driving.
Yeah.
I somehow, some way talked myself into driving and then talked you into driving, and it was absolutely terrible. We picked you up in Edmonds, of course, because you're the mayor of Edmonds. We had down here, what was it, about an hour drive?
Oh, no, you picked me up at 11. We were probably parked by sometime around 12:30.
Yeah. And listen, that was my fault. And also I had to make a Taco Time stop on the way down.
And we would love to be the sponsor for us since you're bringing them up.
Yes, I would love it. But they also did probably cost us about a half an hour. They were quick. They were on top of it. But yeah, Aurora was terrible. Anyways, don't ever think about driving down here. In fact, we got a guy that we ended up parking way off of like 6th and Holgate. And we pay our $40. We finally say, fuck it, let's just pay $40 for about 2 miles from the stadium. Let's walk. And I turn around and I say, so we're good, right? All day for both games. And he goes, oh, you want both games? You're going to both games? We're like, yeah. He goes, $80.
And what did I say?
You told him to go fuck off.
I said, hold on.
Yeah.
We'll go back.
Yeah. So we're going to get this episode in and go see if our car's all right. I think he, like you said, saw my California plates and trying to pull some shit on us. But as you can tell out here, the fans are converging. I bet you there's a lot of people going to both, but the Raiders fans are definitely down here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a few guys when I went to get something to drink at the bar. They just totally were being funny and cut in front of me. And they were like, what are you going to do about it? And they turned around and said, I don't care. I said, I'm just here for the double dip. And they laughed and said, oh, so are we. You know, just being easy going down here. But, yeah, you can tell the vibes change from the Mariner crowd. You know, the grandmas and grandpas taking their kids to the
yeah, it was Senior Citizen Day at the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was.
And then how it transforms, you know, you got the people that are here breaking out their vape pens.
Yeah, there's already puke on the ground. Yeah,
it's a different vibe, and I'm not complaining. I'm more of them, really, to be honest with you.
You can't tell. You just just wafts of marijuana smoke is everywhere. Yeah, and the vape smells going through here. Yeah, we're definitely seeing Pierce County show up strong here in Snohomish County. This is definitely the football crowd that's out here. Anyways, this has always got to be your pre and post stop for Seahawks game, as well as Mariner games, tacos and tequila. We love it here. You'll see our beautiful banner out here on the patio. You know you're in the right spot.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll right on the north wall, or actually the south wall of the outdoor patio. Once you see that, if you're heading south towards T-Mobile Park, or if you're heading north towards Lumen, you'll see it right there on the fence, and that's where you hang a left or right and come on in, up the stairs, and get something good to drink.
Yeah, and if you're, smarter than us, just Google the location and get here. But hey, if you want these old school directions, just rewind the tape. So we'll get to the series here in a second. One other thing I just wanted to say about down here, they've also expanded to the back. We were going to actually record out there, but we like being out on the patio whenever we can be out on the patio. They've doubled in size. There's a second bar here. We're going to go in and check that in. out afterward. And even if this place looks busy, the cool thing they have is they have the QR code to order from the kitchen and the bar. So if you see a big line here, you just hit the QR code. That's how you get your food. And when you get your food, the best part is you get a baseball or football card. You never know if you're going to pull one of those Otanis, with a couple of chimichangas and some street tacos.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go to the game right now.
Let's go to the
I want to
game.
talk about. I'm pretty excited to talk about this. Honestly,
You are. You fucking love talking Mariners baseball.
Yeah.
You really enjoy it now. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get down to brass tacks. The Mariners edge one out here in Game 3. You get the early 2-run shot from Randy Arozarena, and then just not a lot of offense. I think they struck out, 50? By the time I walked out of the stadium to set up over here, I think we were over 15 strikeouts, around 15 strikeouts today.
Yeah, that was definitely the good part of the game. The bats went cold. Naylor goes out. The Mariners don't score there in the ninth. It worries you about, is this a game we're really going to not pull out and not actually sweep these guys? That's what I was worried about.
And in the past, in our Mariners history, in our Mariners DNA says, you're right. Those are the kinds of games that we lose.
Yeah, we kick them, and we should not have kicked that game, and thank God we did. Walking out of there was such a better feeling, not knowing that we shit the bed on there. I mean, all we had to do was put the ball in play, make them make a play, throw it down the right field line, and we're looking good. Sending Dylan Moore up. Were you there in the stadium when Dylan Moore was at bat?
I was not. I had already come over here to set up in the bottom of the ninth.
I got to tell you.
Okay.
They got stuff going on the screen, fire-breathing Dylan Moore. What the hell is going on?
A fire-breathing Dylan Moore?
Yeah, off the video board.
Those are two things I'd never put together.
Picture Munoz is walking out of the pen. They have something similar like that for Dylan Moore, and I almost freaking keeled over. And then especially after that at bat. Just absolutely. Yeah. I used to be kind of a Dylan Moore fan. Terrible at
yeah, and if you're Dylan Moore, I'd be like, don't be rolling video packages like that, pumping me up.
He walked back to the dugout like a dejected dog. It was just, I feel for him, but man, that was a pivotal point during the game.
Well,
but they were able to pull it out.
If you just said, hey, we're going to win a 1-run extra inning game, and at the end of the game, we're not going to have Naylor, you're going to have Solano, who eventually gets pinch hit by Cole Young for a bunt that we don't score, and then Dylan Moore coming in that spot. Also, you lose Cal Raleigh because Dan Wilson could just tell this team wasn't producing runs today in this game. Substitutes out Cal Raleigh for Miles Mastroboni on third base with 2 outs in, I believe that was the 9th or the 8th. No, it was the 8th. Turned out to be okay, but that was definitely a risky move.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, Dan played the percentages like he usually does, and it did not turn out to be okay at that moment during the game.
Yeah, and you've seen Logan in this game. He gets you the 5 innings, kind of just characteristic of the way the rest of this game went. It was just this it felt like the Mariners couldn't really get themselves going, but they did enough. And luckily they were playing a team like Chicago. Sure, I think this is the most hits Chicago had all series. At one point, you're like, they only have a few hits in this series, and they all seem to be bombs.
Well, like I told you, they got lucky. They put the ball in play, and they let them kick the ball around and throw it down the right field line. And it's just an absolute easy play, sacrifice. Looked like goddamn Ballard Little League out there.
Oh, God. Well, luckily the Mariners are playing a Northwest Little League team in the Chicago White Sox, and even on their worst day, they're still better than the bad team on their best day. Look, the Mariners get it done though. You move on to the next game. The big news here in this game though, or the weird news, I should say, we saw Naylor in the middle of the game come out. You've seen Donnie Barrels there over at first base. You were already just irate to see Donnie Barrels in the first place. We did, now that we're recording right now, I'm looking on Twitter. It looks like he was taken out of the game. Dan Wilson said he has a sore shoulder, so some sort of shoulder discomfort going on there for Naylor.
All right. I mean, that's critical. That's, this lineup and team has been so successful since the trading deadline. Injury-free. You have some quirky like that happen. And then you see Donnie Barrels, who I personally never want to see out in the field again. And
you leaned over to me.
What?
You leaned over to me and very seriously you said, I don't ever want to see this guy again.
Oh,
And maybe he didn't. He got pulled out, and I seen him go down the dugout. Never seen him again. Cole Young comes up there. Well, anyways, let's talk about the rest of this series. You kind of saw here. We're going backwards, but game two. Since the beginning of game two, the Mariners it's been few and far between on the runs and converting with runners in scoring position. But up until that, you had back-to-back games where the Mariners put up 8 runs, as you should, against the Chicago White Sox.
yeah, they absolutely got after it in that first game. And then the second game hit a lot of home runs. The bullpen kind of faltered them down the stretch, but the Mariners were able to capitalize with a sacrifice fly and give them some room, even though Munoz then comes in and gives up a leadoff homer with a couple walks to make me pucker up a little bit. But it ended up being okay, and they win that game.
Yeah, and in that game, let's talk about him again. Josh Naylor nails. Second day in a row, he hits a home run. So that, you know what he brings you there at the plate. You know what he's been doing on the base pass. How many double steals did the Mariners have this series?
Well, not only that, Naylor is the first guy, I think, since Ichiro, or maybe the first guy in the Mariners' history to hit multiple home runs and have more than 2 stolen bases in back-to-back games.
Just setting club records in a week.
Well, it's probably pretty easy. We've watched Mariner baseball for 35 plus years. So there's not many records to be had.
You might have a chance at a record there. But, you know, yesterday, early on in the game, the Mariners, with this new lineup, have been able to, it seems like, put together these run outbursts at the beginning of the game, which has made it a lot easier on them. And on top of that, made it much more enjoyable to watch. Let's just talk about, you know, going back to game one, you're in there. Eugenio Suarez first home run. We're inside of Edgar's. Break it on down.
Oh, yeah, that was nice to just see that ball travel over top of our heads into the second deck in Edgar's.
You know,
beautiful.
I'll tell you from my point of view of what was beautiful about it. I'm going. We're sitting on the rail there, and I go, all right, I'll go get us a round from Tim, and I look down. I hear the crack of the bat. I see the swing. I mean, that was just a majestic shot above us into the air. But I saw you down in the front row, and your bucket hat high-fiving everybody, marking out as hard as you possibly could.
Absolutely. I mean, he came in, struck out quite a bit. They were even commenting Locklear had more home runs than him at that time after the trade deadline, and to see Eugenio come up and put one in the famous left field Edgar Cantina seats was nice to see.
And from there, just the floodgates opened with the offense in that game.
Yeah, from my perception of this series was the M's came out, you know, iron hot, red hot in that first game. Second game, they got off to it, you know, kind of tailed back, and then this game was an absolute dogfight.
Yeah. But in the past, these are the games we let get away.
Oh, and definitely kick it away. I mean, and thank God we did. We cannot be doing stupid stuff like that down the stretch here.
No. And game one, though, you know, set the tone. Like you said, you go out, you get that first one like that, you come back the next day, and then the bats end up faltering. The bullpen, though, in this series, I would give them a B.
C?
A B minus. Yeah, yesterday's game was not very good. Let's go into game two. Since we got to be a little bit critical here, the bullpen is something that we've constantly talked about. We even said to each other inside the stadium, there's nothing more they can do for the bullpen this year. All we can do is just hope it just irons out and gets more steady.
Well, they are in a different predicament than they have been all year. They had some leads, big leads. They're not used to that. They're used to these tight games, you know, leverage situations. So it is different. And, you know, they got us back to where it was kind of a leverage situation by giving up a few long balls, walking guys. Munoz didn't look that sharp. But, you know, you can expect that. But, you know, they got to get used to having that type of outing other than, you know, the type of outings they've had the whole first half of the year when they've been stressful.
Yeah. We're also seeing guys a little bit come back down to earth in the bullpen like Bazardo. But he had a decent didn't he have a decent bounce back today, or did he end up surrendering that run in the 10th? But
Yeah, after giving up back-to-back homers in game 2, yeah, he came out, looked good, and then he threw one in the dirt to have the go-ahead run score.
you look at guys like
He's been very good though.
he has been, and we've talked very highly about him on here. We've seen his whole story arc here, talking about him from being the human white flag, like we always says, to now he's one of the leverage guys. Him and Vargas, you'd say they're your depth leverage guys. Like when you can't go with Munoz, and you can't go with when you just can't go to Brash all the time, and you can't always just go to Spire and the new guy Ferguson, who's pitched pretty decent since he's been here. You do point at Vargas and you do point at Bizzardo, and you go, gosh, you wish you were a little bit stronger in that depth situation right there.
Yeah, I mean, they've done their job, pitched really well. It's just I got a lot of things in my opinion there. This series, Bizzardo, Legaguma, excuse me if I'm saying his name wrong, I just don't have the trust in them like I should. Those are guys that should be thrown in those spots, which they were. You just can't trust them in any type of leverage situation.
That was, if you just heard, I heard everything you said. It was beautiful, but I also heard my first in-ball. Hawks!
What's up, boys?
All right, we got the ultimate. You don't call him a hater, but he's the most critical or most, I don't know,
he's reserved.
skeptical.
He's a reserved
You're reserved the DH. So what are you thinking about the Mariners right now? 6-1, right? Since the trade deadline, pulled themselves into a game and a half back from Houston. What are you thinking about it?
Well, we're gonna have to see what this Naylor injury, what effects this has on the lineup.
You're absolutely
This could be a big hit.
Well, it's a shoulder injury, so what does that mean? Well, we're going to have to find out. If you go back, you can go back and watch that at bat, but you and I were both going like, whoa, what's up with these weird flailing swings?
They were big hacks, and I like that about him, but he was fooled and took some big hacks. And you didn't really notice that because he's done it before. But coming out of that inning after those big swings, it didn't seem like anything was abnormal to me, to my eyes. Did it to you?
No, he just seemed like from where we saw it, we're sitting right behind the right-handed batter's box, so you got a good view. It just looked like he was frustrated, or like, what the fuck did I swing at?
You can hear him say "fuck" on the broadcast.
Oh, okay.
That loud.
We can't say that on our show, though. Sorry. AG. And then we also have somebody else here sitting at the table. We got Gary, the legend Gary. What's going on, Gary?
What?
What's going on? What are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Mariners?
Mariners are going all the way.
Oh, they are?
Hopefully.
Yeah. What makes you feel like they're going all the way?
Because they got the hitting and the pitching.
Yeah. So tell us a little about let's plug your friend's hot dog stand over here.
What?
Let's plug your friend's hot dog stand over here.
Al's Gourmet Sausage is the best. Anyone that comes into Seattle needs to hit Al.
So are they the ones that started the Seattle dog?
Al did.
Al started the Seattle dog.
Yeah, Al started the Seattle dog, and he's got cheesesteak and a variety of specialty sausages.
Where, if you're going to a Mariners game, where is he usually set up?
It's usually set up on Occidental with a truck and down across from WAMU Theater.
Okay, so check out Al's Gourmet's Hot Dogs. Tell him Big Gare sent you. So we're going to wrap things up here really quickly here on this series. What was your biggest positive takeaway from this series being down here? It could be anything from somebody on the team, something that's happened on the team, or just the atmosphere that's going on.
Positives, just how our lineup looks when everybody's going right. And we still didn't see Cal going completely right like we would expect. But there's a lot of potential with our lineup. But for me, it's beating a below 500 team, which our record isn't the greatest at, and taking care of business, fighting through these games, and coming out with a sweep.
Yeah, taking care of business. What you go and we looked at this homestand and we kind of said the second week of it where you had the White Sox and a struggling Tampa Bay team, you were like, not being greedy, but hey, if you want to make a move on the Astros, which you've done, you've made that up, but you also got to keep your eyes on Detroit, and you also got to keep your eyes on what's going on with the Toronto Blue Jays. And it's still going. It's still going. Right here. So, yeah, so we get the sweep. We got to get going. We got to get into the games. But happy with what the Mariners are doing. It's going to be a big weekend with Ichiro in town. Hopefully they don't lose that with all the hoopla and everything going on.
I mean, for my money, I'm hoping they pull the series out. Anything more than that would be awesome. Tampa Bay's a good team, but struggling a little bit. So, I'm hoping no worse than 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and one thing else I'm going to watch with Cal Raleigh, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We've been talking about it. People talking shit and worrying about his slump, and it's like the team is set up now to where you have so much depth. Guys are slumping to their par. Now you have the guys to pick you up. You saw Randy pick it up today. But you also saw him kind of go through a little bit of, and when he Polanco's been back carrying the team. We've seen what Naylor's been doing, what Julio's been doing. Who cares if Cal's having a little bit of a patch?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And if anybody deserves to have one, it's him. I'll say it is important to take care of business with Tampa Bay this week because they're going on a trip. You got to go to take care of, but they haven't played there. And then you're going to New York, and you're having to go down and play the Little League game. Travel to desperately win every single one of them. Anyway, let's get loud into the again for liking and subscribing. And also, if you want street cred for rocking the rye bread, hit up at simply.cora. That's at simply.cora. And in the Clutch Apparel, use the promo code as you see rolling out the bottom of the street. Rye bread and mustard, all one word. Save your